Deciding what features to include in your Bubble SaaS MVP can feel like a daunting task. I'll show you what I do to help my clients define their MVP feature list and choose what features will be the most valuable for their MVP app. We'll start with a journaling and business development app. Come up with a bunch of features that we could eventually include in that app that would be valuable for users. And then I'll show you how to whittle down that list to come up with the most focused MVP feature list that we can. You can use this for your own app that you are building on Bubble and helping you decide what MVP features to include on your app. So let's just start with this simple prompt. Let's say we are building a Bubble app for journaling and business development. We want to have some features like community features, daily journaling prompts, goal setting and task creation, Google Calendar, integration, AI scheduling, gamification, and other valuable features. What are some other valuable features that I can add? Short answer. So this is helping us come up with a bunch of features that we can eventually include in our app. So the difficult part, though, is coming up with a focused list of features that are going to be valuable enough for our users on that first version of the app, but also can allow us to get to market as quickly as possible and not spend a ton of time on the Figma design and the Bubble development. We don't want to spend thousands of dollars extra on building an MVP, including a bunch of extra optional features when we don't even have any users on the platform. So we want to come up with that minimum viable product, the smallest number of focused features that we can include that is going to be valuable. So there's a lot of other things we could add. We could add habit tracking, mood tracking. Let's see some other things. Community challenges, daily affirmations, AI generated insights or summaries, AI business idea validator or planner, vision board builder, in-app rewards and points. See, there's all these things we can add. Accountability partners is another one. So what we're going to try to do is come up with that most focused list possible of features that are maybe not too complex, but that we can implement quickly and get that first version of the app running so we can get users to test it and give us feedback. So let's do something like this. Come up with an MVP feature list for this Bubble app. Do not include any optional or unnecessary features for the MVP version. The app, be as detailed as possible and define the features completely in the MVP. Do not add any, I'll stress again, do not add any unnecessary features or complexity to the MVP version of the app. Cool. So the reason why we stress again is we want to be reminding ChatGPT that, hey, we don't want any unnecessary features or complexity at all. We want that first version to be simple. It also allows us to spend more time on the most important features of the app. So other things like in-app rewards or points, that stuff is going to be valuable once there's a ton of users on the platform, or accountability, that is going to be useful once there's a lot of users on the platform. But for the first version of the app, there's not going to be that many users or maybe no users at all. So there's no point in spending extra weeks of development time and thousands of dollars in development cost building features that are not going to be useful in that first version of the app with little to no users. So let's go through and double check that we have everything that's valuable. So we need user authentication. Email and password is completely good. Even if we're spending a little extra time building social media login, generally speaking, I would say that is just going to be a waste of the bandwidth that we have. We have very limited bandwidth for that first version of the app, and we want to be making sure we're focusing that all on the most important feature. So the daily journaling prompts would likely be that most important feature. With goal setting, Let's see. Okay, so they have an admin panel in here. If we see a feature in here that we're not 100% sure is extremely vital to that first version of the app, I'm going to just say, is the admin panel completely vital to the first version of the app? Short answer. So they'll likely be, so they're saying, hey, let's add and edit daily journaling prompts. We probably could have just a standard prompt that we send ChatGPT to give us daily prompts rather than having to create an admin panel and then go in and add daily journaling prompts. And even viewing user lists, like I said, if that first version of the MVP we get out, there's no users, what is the point of building a additional user type, adding a bunch of features for that user type, going through any bugs that come up, to view user lists when there's no users there. So I would say like an admin panel, almost, not always, but most of the time, is not a vital feature for the first version of the app. We'll definitely want responsiveness. Community feed. So again, so let's ask about this. Is the community feed vital to the first version of the app? Short answer. No, and here's why again, because community would be valuable if there's a lot of users on the app. That could be a perfect phase 2. Same with the admin panel. That could be a perfect phase 2 feature that we could add once we start getting some traction with users coming onto the platform. We can definitely have like a tab on the sidebar that says coming soon, the community feature, and maybe even some other features. So this is how I would start going through this feature list that ChatGPT gave us. So a couple things I'm going to ask for sure is, what user types are required for the MVP version of the app? So I always do short answer because otherwise ChatGPT will just go on and on about the same thing. Only one user type is required, the standard user. Admin actions can be handled directly in the Bubble editor. I would agree with that. That's perfect. What APIs are required for the first version of the app? Cool. So we got Google Calendar. So let's do this. Write a complete and detailed executive summary for this MVP version of the app. Also include a list of future features we can add to the app in future phases of development. Do not add any unnecessary features or complexity to the MVP version of the app. Do not add any optional features. MVP. Be as detailed and comprehensive as possible. Cool. So this should give us a pretty good idea of what this first version of the app should be. So this is what I do for all clients that come to me. They'll come with basically their goal or dream feature list with a ton of features that are going to be valuable in the end state of the app. And that's completely fine. That's how every idea starts, is we start coming up with all the features that we could add eventually, how we could grow this into a community, how we could monetize this in different ways. That's completely understandable. And that's what every project should look like. But for that first version of the app, we want to whittle away as much of the optional features as possible so that we're just focused on the most important MVP version of the app. It has so many benefits to do that. Number one, we are getting to market quicker. We're getting it in front of users as quickly as possible so they can help build that future version of the app by requesting features, even testing the app, letting us know where any bugs are at. We can build that future feature list based off of actual requests from users, which is going to be much more valuable than just theorizing what's going to be the future state of the app. Then another huge benefit is we're not spending a ton extra on features that are not going to be very valuable to that first version of the app. Like anything that is going to be useful when there's a ton of users on the app, we should almost always save for future phases of development. So it's like, what's the point of spending some extra weeks in development, extra thousands of dollars in development on features that are not going to be used until there's a bunch of users on the app? So let's look through this briefly, make sure that everything's there. User authentication, no social media login. That's good. Daily journaling prompts. That looks completely defined. Goal setting. Basic dashboard. Got task creation and management. Google Calendar integration. AI scheduling suggestions. Even this feature might be a little complex for the MVP version of the app. Might be easier just to schedule those things manually. But we may need to define this a little bit further. User dashboard. We have a daily journaling prompts, today's tasks, active goal summary. There's our MVP feature list. There's our users. And here's a bunch of future feature roadmap, community and social features, gamification, advanced AI features, scheduling, customization, notifications and reminders, team and collaboration, mobile app version. So the last thing I always do is see, is there anything in the MVP that is not completely defined? So I think we probably could define it a little bit better, but at least this will be the perfect jumping off point where it's limited, it's focused, it's going to be a good version of the app. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles, but that's just never going to happen on that first version of the app. We'll be able to get it to market quickly. We'll be able to get it in front of users quickly in the most cost-effective way possible. So use this. This is what I do going through each of my clients' projects to make sure we're starting with that MVP feature list that is going to be valuable to that first set of users. So if you have any questions about this, leave this in the comments below. If you have any detailed questions about your specific project, go to Booster Cartel. You can contact me there, boostercartel.com. And you can also get a quote and an estimate for your app, your MVP. You can go to Booster Cartel, click on Get a Quote, and you can get an estimate based off of the features that are required for your MVP version of the app. It'll give you a really detailed quote there. So let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to speaking with you on another video.